The sun was setting over Florence, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. The bells of the cathedral rang, their deep sound rolling across the rooftops. Inside the convent, Sister Isabella knelt in prayer. Her figure was graceful, her face radiant even in the dim light of candles. They called her the Glamorous Nun. She had not always been Sister Isabella. Years ago, she had been Isabella di Rossi, the daughter of a wealthy merchant. Her beauty was famous in Florence, emerald eyes, raven black hair, and a smile that lit the darkest room. Many men had courted her, but one had stolen her heart, Lorenzo, a poet with dreams larger than his fortune. On summer nights, they would walk together along the Arno River. Lorenzo would read her verses, and she would laugh, promising him that one day the world would hear his words. He often whispered, "Isabella, your beauty belongs in marble, your voice belongs in music, but your heart belongs to me." But fate is cruel. A war broke out, and Lorenzo was called to fight. He promised to return, placing a simple silver ring in her hand. Isabella waited months, then years. When the news came that his regiment had been lost, her world shattered. The grand gowns, the laughter of noble halls, the suitors that once crowded her door, all felt empty without him. In her grief, she turned to God. Seeking peace, she joined the convent, giving away her jewels and silks. Yet no vow could erase the memories of Lorenzo's voice in the night wind, or the warmth of his hand in hers. Years passed. Though she lived simply, her beauty did not fade. Villagers whispered of her past, calling her the glamorous nun who once had princes at her feet. But Isabella never looked back, until one stormy evening. A desperate knock shook the convent doors. The sisters opened them to find a young woman, Clara, drenched in rain and tears. She had fled from a cruel husband who treated her as property. The elder nuns hesitated, sheltering her would bring trouble, but Isabella stepped forward. She wrapped her cloak around the trembling girl and whispered, "You are safe here. No one will silence your soul." Clara stayed, and soon others came, women, children, the forgotten. Isabella became their guide, teaching them music, giving them courage. Her voice in the chapel, soft and powerful, became a beacon for all who suffered. But destiny was not finished with her story. One spring morning, as Isabella tended the convent garden, a traveler arrived. He was older, his hair streaked with gray, his face weathered by years of hardship. Yet when their eyes met, Isabella's heart trembled. "Lorenzo," she whispered. He bowed his head. "Yes, my Isabella. I lived, but I was broken. Captured in war, I wandered for years before I found my way home. And I returned to find you were gone." Tears filled her eyes. The convent bells rang again, as if echoing their silence. He took her hand gently, just as he had under the starlit skies of their youth. "I never stopped loving you," he said. "Even when the world forgot me, I kept your memory alive. You were the light that carried me through the darkest nights." Isabella's soul battled between duty and love. She had taken vows, given her life to the convent. Yet in that moment, standing before the man she thought lost forever, her heart ached with the sweetness of the love they once shared. She did not break her vows, nor did she deny her heart. Instead, she spoke softly, "Lorenzo, our love was a fire that shaped me. But I belong here now. My beauty, my song, my strength, they are not for me alone, but for those who have no one. Yet know this, what we shared will never die. It lives in every word I speak, in every note I sing. Lorenzo bowed his head, tears glistening. Then let me stay near, not as your husband, but as your friend. Let me help you in your work. If I cannot hold your hand, I will carry your cause. And so he did. The poet who once wrote verses for one woman now wrote songs for the many who came to the convent seeking hope. Isabella sang them, her voice lifting the souls of all who listened years later. When Sister Isabella's name was spoken, people no longer remembered her for her beauty alone. They remembered her as the nun who turned grief into compassion, glamour into strength, and lost love into a light for the forgotten. She was glamorous not because of how she looked, but because of how she made others feel, valued, safe, and seen. And though she remained a nun, every time she sang, her voice carried a secret whisper only the wind could hear. Lorenzo, my love, you live in every note.